Hello, I'm Misao, the Japanese Matchmaking Queen, bringing Australian men and Japanese women for the happy futures. Today, I invite my Japanese girlfriend, Kaori. She's a great Japanese language teacher, and we are going to discuss about, is it important to learn your partner's language? She's going to tell us her story and how learning partner's language affect your relationship. So we can talk about that, but also, Kaori-san, would you please share your experience?
And, my experience.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Well, as Tom and Gary know, I think I mentioned a few times that I was married before, and I have a 9-year-old son that we share, and we're in a really good term and everything. But what was the hardest when I lived in England, especially, we weren't married then, but we were together already 7 years, and I felt he didn't understand how hard it is for me to be in the English-speaking country and eating his food, or the little things. It was really. I was in Canada a few years before that as well, but it's having someone supposed to be so close to me, but him not understanding what I was going through was really difficult, and it made me feel even more lonely than I was when I was single. Yeah. So then I just couldn't stay in England anymore because of the weather and the food. So I said, where he asked, where do you want to go? And so I said, anywhere but here. So he said, I've always wanted to live in Australia, so let's go. 6 months later, we were here. And and when we got here, first place that we lived was in Redcliffe. Not the most exciting place in Brisbane, I guess. And everything was closed at 8:30. Last order was 8. And first time I think he understood, although he understands, he could speak English. He was in a completely different country, and he started to understand, appreciate how lonely being away from my family, his family, friends, everything he had, he left it behind to be with me. And that was, So either Ayaka or Hiromi, or Jeffrey's, your fiance's name?
You.
Whether you guys are going to live in Australia in the future, or decide to live in Japan. Both ways. I think it goes both ways. If they come to you to be with you, probably they will feel homesick. However much they're eager to come to Australia now, once they start to get used to the culture and the fact that the Ayaka, your English is really, really, really good. But the things that we don't realize, it's not about the language and just per se, but also everything, the culture, how Australian people live, the little greetings and all the banters, quite blunt jokes and that kind of things, and getting jobs and all that will make it's so different from our culture. So I think for me, for my partner now, he uses Japanese here and there, and he says onegai shimasu or gomen ne or ohayo and that kind of things, and or the little things. If I seemed a little bit down, then he said Daijobu, and that brings me smile. And then the fact that I didn't teach him, so he learned it himself. That makes me feel so warm in my heart, and that he cares, and that shows a lot. And I used to teach Japanese to my ex-husband, But because I'm a teacher and he has access to my brain anytime he wanted, he didn't take notes. And I had to teach him many things, same things over and over. That was at the beginning, it was okay, but it started to get really frustrating. So that kind of thing, if you can kind of do your own work, and then, like Gary-san is doing with Hiromi, learn something. I'm sure Tom-san is doing the same thing. Practicing the actual things that you've learned with your fiancé, that's great. But asking someone to learn, that's starting to get a little bit, it was hard for me, my personal opinion. And the having to translate every single word when we were in Japan, that was hard as well. And then he couldn't go anywhere without me. That was hard as well. And he couldn't go downstairs to have breakfast to say hi because he couldn't speak much. And so if you could just have a few words to have a conversation with your fiancés or girlfriends, family and friends, that will take a lot of your partners. And so that, and it shows what I wanted to say was, I don't know. That's pretty much it. And also, the other thing is, when you go to Japan, if you know a few words, you feel confident. And I'm sure Ayaka, Misao, we all agree that when we speak English, we almost feel like we're different people. We're not as confident as when we speak Japanese. So knowing a few words in the language that the country you're in, that will give you a very good, the confidence that, it's okay, Ayaka, Hiromi, you go and, see your friends or go shopping with your mom and I'll be all right. That kind of, confidence. And that's very attractive anyway, for a man to have that confidence. So, yes. Is that okay, Misao?
Wonderful. Everything Kaori told and shared, almost each story, it's really related to me. And then suddenly somehow some anger comes up. Once my husband, I went to Japan, not almost every year. And then because he couldn't speak Japanese, and we had a dinner, and because he couldn't understand, after dinner, I want him to kind of joining our just chatting, because I was with him and I could translate my style. And he started touching like computer, like totally ignore my family and friends. And I thought, I just said, I'm first as a Japanese, I'm embarrassed. And then I said to him, honey, can you join? And what he said is, I can't understand because I don't understand. So I'm tired. I feel lonely. And that made me so upset. And that night I said to him, that is what you're feeling now is every day, 365 days. That is my situation. That's what I said. So I remember that. And also when Kaori-san talked about food, you have to eat his food. And after that, he said, that is so little thing, but that is not little things. Food. Every day.
Food is big, yes.
Yeah, big things. 1 day, 2 days, you can maybe enjoy toast with Vegemite, pizza, spaghetti, fine. We are born with rice and miso soup. So our body telling us, I'm dying. I want to eat rice and miso soup. So that is one of the things so food is quite not little things, it's really big things. That is everything that I just remember when I and my husband married. First few years, many, many, many things. That even he's such a nice guy, even I'm a good, nice person.
Yes.
Because of culture different, language different, I'm alone.
So try to enjoy the first time of
cute part.
the
Yeah,
Japanese.
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
That means learning Japanese, not perfectly, but little, could be your kind of not weapon, but the things that attracts Japanese
Yeah.
member.
And then after that, you can be fluent. But when you're getting to know some Japanese girls, I think it's knowing enough might be more attractive than
I would definitely call it a weapon. Definitely. I used it.
You used it.
When I was
some men, a single man, carry walking with really cute dog as a kind of
something like that. Yeah.
weapon like attraction. But you use Japanese. That's wonderful.
Because Japanese girls love anything cute. So kawaii. We did the lesson kawaii, but don't mistake with kawaii.
So when I
say kawaii all the time. So we love anything cute.
When we went to Japan, my husband speaks little Japanese, and anything he said, all my Japanese friends, and I always say, it's not fair. So anyway, it's time. Kaori-san, thank you very much. Thank you. And if you would you please give us one tiny tips how to improve your Japanese? Do you have any? Just pick one. How to improve Japanese? Second language.
Listen to any dialogue.
Listen.
Watch Japanese movies.
Listening is the most important thing.
Instead of speaking.
Yes, because you have to get used to the sounds, and if you hear it many times enough, you start to recognize. And I've heard this. That leads to a confidence, and then that confidence takes for you to be ready to speak, even if it's a little bit wrong. I think, but if not really difficult like news and stuff, but your level, but just a little bit. We say 7+. Your level 7+ is the 7 is 7 words, could be 7 words or 7 different kind of grammars. It's just your level plus 7, something a little bit higher than your level. Then that's not overwhelming, but also gives you enough motivation to want to learn the next 7 and listen, and then when you're ready, repeat.
That's great. That's a great advice. Thank you very much. This thing is very important, but also try a little bit higher. Not
try
too
higher.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kaori-san. ありがとうね。ありがとうございました。ありがとう。